Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office. I'm working on a vehicle right now. We're live in me working in a vehicle, and I want to connect up some DVD player type things in the back to the main power, and there's not a convenient place to do it. It's from the center console. However, there is a constant power feed to the lighter socket, but I don't want to use those because I don't want constant power to the screens because it will run down your battery when you take the key out and walk off. So what I'm going to do is fit a relay because there is an auxiliary switch source quite near. So I thought I'll just make a self-contained box just to handle it all. And I salvaged this relay. It's pretty much automotive spec 12 volt relay. I found this fuse line thingy. I'm going to do window splices on the vehicle, so that's going to be pretty neat. And look, that's quite a cute fuse thing, although I'm probably going to just redo all the contacts myself. And I've got plenty of wire, so all I need to do now is run to the vehicle, get all the tools I left in the vehicle so I can actually do this. Okay, got my cutters. That was the main tool I left, and that's the main tool I need. So I'm just going to trim that off there, and going to trim that off there. So that's our fuse. Might fit it in the box. No, I'll fit it on the outside. Right. First things first. This is going to be our feed basically to our auxiliary power to our gadget. So we're going to leave that there for now. In fact though, we're going to use the same wire. I am going to use the same wire because I'm going to need power to the relay. And I'm going to need that switched source. So we're going to need the ground. And we're going to need a live. That's going to go to, drop it there, that's about long enough. And it would be nice to get a slightly different shade of wire. I'm going to use my big old power supply thing here. We're going to have our feed, which is going to switch our relay. And I think this green is a nice colour, so we're going to have a green. There we go, so we're going to wire that up that way. Strip the ends. So if you don't know what a window splice is, basically you cut the existing wire very carefully with a scalpel, and you solder your connector right into the side of it, and then you tape that up nicely, nice and securely. So you're kind of piggybacking off a wire. And you look at some of my previous videos on car stuff, namely the ones to do with radios, and you'll see the window splice technique in those. So that's looking quite nice. I'm just going to tin and prepare all the ends of the wires because when you go to the vehicle you don't want to be messing with any of this stuff. And this is effectively a low current. This is just for operating the relay, so it doesn't need to carry a massive amount of current, so that's why it's much thinner wire. Although if you've only got thick wire, just use that. So this car, it's crazy. I found loads of stuff in it. I've just basically been pulling off all the panels and finding all these modules like these parrots and all sorts of stuff. The vehicle is basically losing power. You know, its battery's running down really quickly if it's not used. And the reason was, it's sort of like over the years, all these numpties have fitted all these gadgets and they've wired them up to the permanent live feeds. And yeah, wondering why the vehicle runs down. And it's the worst of the worst. You know, I'm seeing all sorts of random cable used, mains flex. It's like real amateur hour at Halfords. You know, it's just the worst. So I'm expecting a lot of good things to occur now as a result of sorting all of these out. And I just realised we're going to fit that fuse at some point. Ooh, we should be fitting it in this red wire. I'm going to splice into that red wire again. Come on. There we go. So I've got a bit of an option actually. I think I need to splice into that red wire. I could do it now, yeah. I'm just going to get myself some side cutters because I want to tackle this with a bit more care. Look, it's actually unraveling itself. So I don't want it to totally unravel because I'll have to re-ravel it all up. So that's going to be one end. So let's just tin that. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm up to. Just tinning the ends of the wire. Just like so. So now you can see this fuse holder is designed to be crimped, but it's okay. We're just going to solder on each end. I think we're going to get away with that. Not problems, just as long as you tin it nicely. And it's really nice. It's taking the solder so well. I've got no doubts it's going to work just fine if I can actually keep it in one place for a moment. And I'm going to check the rating of that fuse. It doesn't have to be particularly big. I've not really worked out what I need yet, but I'd say I'd be probably happy with 5 amps or so. Okay, just get that in there. Let that cool down. I'm going to do the same on this other wire. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, this sort of vehicle electrics. I'm just going to double check this one because no, it's alright. I think I could get it a little bit more flush, but what's the point? Get that in there. Clip that in. Ooh, still a bit warm. There we go, so that's the fuse in there. And what I could do, I'm going to straighten out this black wire a little bit and then re-spool it around. To retwist them. Nice job. So that's quite nice. Quite a good job there. Just trim the end of that one. One more to tin. Come on. Come on, fella. Here we go. So that's our main power, and this is our signal. I'm just going to go get the other power cable we need. This is the end of our aux power, and I'm just going to trim those. There's no need to worry about cable IDs on these because they're all pretty standard. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I was just thinking what I might do. I'm just going to cut a little length of this off because I've got more than I need anyway, but I might just need a couple of smaller pieces to do the internal wiring of our relay. You'll see what I mean now. Crikey O'Reilly, that is tough. I got you. So this wire is significantly good. I don't have to worry about the current handling of the wire. As long as our fuse isn't too beefy, we'll be alright. This wire is going to take anything we're going to throw at it. And it's coming from the actual main lighter feed, which is a very heavy gauge 20 amp or something wire, so it's kind of future proof. We'll be able to, you know, whack in something huge if we need to. So let's feed all the ends through the hole. There's a hole in this box. Dear Liza, there's a hole in my box. Just wedge those through. Let's not lose ourselves on these. So we know these pair, this pair and this pair, so we've got our 3 pairs. So we're going to look at our relay and have a little thinky think of what we're trying to achieve here. We know that one end of the, I'm going to just pull the green out actually because I can thread that through. So we know that one side of the relay is going to be our green, and if we want to do a good job of this we can use heat shrink. I was kind of thinking, do we need to? You know, we don't really need to, but I might just use a bit of heat shrink, seeing as it's a PCB mount relay and we don't have a PCB. Let's do it nicely. Just going to reach up and grab some. Here we go. Oh, it's a muggy day, it really is. Let's try a little bit of blue. Get a bit of blue down there. I'm wondering if there's any logic here. There's no reason to really choose any particular colour for heat shrinks. I'm going to try a little trick I've seen. I'm just going to try the old lighter. I want to do it a bit more quicker than usual. You've got a lighter, you can probably do that at home in the same way. I'd normally use the hot air blower, but I've got the patience. I just want to get this done. It's getting dark outside. Right, so that's going to be the switched live. That means then on the other side we will need a ground, and the ground we know we're getting a good ground from our lighter. And we're going to need to connect that ground also to our output. So we're going to join those. These will actually be a join internally. So we need a bigger piece of heat shrink to be able to take the extra wires. And I'm kind of thinking there would have been a lot of benefit for me to mechanically join these wires before tinning them. I hadn't really thought about that quite through well enough, but that's okay. Just makes it awkward to solder basically, but I think we might get away with it. And then don't worry, I'm going to zoom in and show you what I'm up to in a moment. Just get these wires in there. Get these reds out of the way. It's a bit awkward with these thick old wires. They want to go where they want to go. So we're just going to switch the live essentially. So the ground is always ground straight through the system, and we're just going to switch the live. So I'm just going to have to get these wires soldered to that part of the PCB. Well, part of that relay, sorry. PCB, where's my brain? So I'm just going to tin it actually, just before we start. Get that nicely tinned. And I'm going to get that one nicely tinned as well. For later. So let's have a look, see what I'm trying to do. Just going to hook one leg on there first. That went on quite well. So if I could get the other black leg on there, I'm going to be very happy. But in the process of getting that black leg on, it's probably going to pull the other one off. So I've got to be a bit cautious and use a lot of fingers and dexterity to try to get these all aligned in one go. Probably going to get a bit burnt, a little bit burnt maybe. Oh, let's hold that there. Oh, that's looking good, very good. I'm very pleased with that. So let's get our heat shrink on there. We're going to hit it with our lighter. Yeah, the old lighter way is actually not bad. So we've got our power now. This is our common basically. So the common power is going to get attached to that single terminal on its own. So you see that's the common terminal. So we're going to hook that onto the common terminal. And then the other power, which is the output, is going to get hooked onto the normally open connector. So there. Let's put that here. Sorry, normally open contact. I have to admit I'm jumping between a lot of nomenclature here, and I don't mean to do it. It's just one day it's car wiring, one day it's harnesses, one day it's electronics. I do get my brain gets a little bit confused. But there we go. So now that's the other one. That's the common power coming from the lighter socket, and I'm just double checking, not losing my mind. That's true, that's done. So I'm just looking at the relay positions, and I can see this pin down here is the normally open one. So we're going to hook that on to our final wire. You can see just through the window, if you look carefully, see it's open on that side. That's where we're going. And if you don't know on your relay if it's the normally open or normally closed, just get your multimeter out and buzz it out, or a continuity tester, and you'll be able to figure that out pretty darn quickly. Just going to tin it though with a touch of solder first before we put the wire on. There we go. Just going to bring that round. Again, a bit of dexterity here required. That's good. That's a nice solder there. Very nice. Cool in place. We're going to get our lighter. And we're done. So that's effectively the thing built, but I think we're going to test it first. So first things first, going to get this wire back out of here while I still can. And all of these, as I say, they're going to be window spliced into the main wiring harness of the vehicle. So this whole box, all it contains is a relay effectively, but that's fine. How else are you going to do it? That's good. Good job. I'm going to put a bit of hot snot in there and glue that down. Put the lid on. Good. Now let's test it out. I've got a bench power supply here. Going to turn it up to about 12 volts. And this is going to simulate our system. I'm just noting that I haven't got a multimeter in my hands, which is good. But that's fine. I've got this gadget. And this is a meter, a panel meter, that tells you the power. So it's basically a voltmeter. So I'm going to hook this onto our output, and it shouldn't do anything, to be honest, because there'll be no power there. Right, I'm going to turn the power on. We're drawing no current, because of course this signal wire has to go to this switched live on the car. So now we're going to pretend we're touching the switch live. And there we go, look at our little panel meter there. 11.5 volts, and you can see it. That's me basically not holding the wire correctly. Absolutely brilliant. So that means now when the car owner puts in their key, turns it on, relay is going to activate and switch power to the in-car entertainment system. Kiddies can watch their shows without running down the battery. So I hope that's a bit of some use to you and you can figure it out. Make sure you fit fuses when you're doing it as well. If you want to refer to window splices, have a look at my earlier videos on car stuff, and or just Google it, you'll figure it all out. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and as ever, thank you for watching. Little tip though before I sign off totally, cable tie, forgot about this. Get your cable tie in there, crimp off those wires so that you can't yank out your relay and pull all the wires out. Now it's a proper job. Thanks for watching.